Hi, I'm Max.
And I'm Skylar.
Recently, we decided to start watching Bob's Burgers to see what it was all about.
And it didn't take us long to become completely obsessed with the show.
But one of the things we love the most about the show is the brilliant end credit sequences.
Which is why we created this podcast.
Each week, we're going episode by episode to talk about the elaborate end credits.
We're excited to have you join us right here on Bob's Credits.
We'll make sure the Bob's Burgers end credits get the credit they're due.
All right!
Hi.
Oh, you're looking at me. You waiting for something?
No.
No?
I just need to apologize. It took me so long to get in here today. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I've just been sitting here for an hour and a half waiting for you.
Sorry.
Ready?
Yeah.
Chip chip ruahim belesamea. Chip chip ruahim belesamea. Chip chip ruahim belesamea. Chip chip ruahim. Ruahim belesamea.
Now,
I fumbled that a bit.
I was very impressed.
I had to reach back to my bar mitzvah past.
Well, that was going to be my question. This episode.
That's relevant to this episode. I'm not just doing a random chip chipperoo. I'm not just doing that, singing the Hava Nagila for the heck of it. Although I could. Who knows?
So this episode, Mazel Tina, does it bring you back to your bar mitzvah?
I have so many things to say about this episode and thoughts that remind me of my youth from this episode.
Okay.
But before we get into that, should we play a little Bob pun or Max pun?
Let's do it. Are they themed? You got Texan?
Themed. I got Texan there. I don't know if I'm just like talking to you too much.
It's because we were watching Dr. Death, and that's set in Dallas.
I love how every time we record, we're watching something
completely tonally different
than Bob's and like new and dark.
Yeah, and we can't not mention it.
Anyway, Dr. Death is very disturbing. It's the complete opposite of Bob's Burgers.
Yep.
These
just
puns,
as twisted.
These puns are not themed. I thought about doing bar mitzvah themed stuff, but I don't think Bob has many.
Yeah, that would just be me guessing you and winning.
They're not in the restaurant at all in this episode, so
right.
There's no burgers on the burgers of the day.
Let's do a classic game of Max Pun or Bob Pun then.
It's actually called Bob Pun or Max Pun.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Dock me 5 points.
You are... Yeah, I'm definitely winning in the point system, whatever the point system is on this podcast.
Okay.
Are you ready for your first pun?
I am.
Okay.
I'm mad at you now, so I'm just gonna beat you.
Like physically?
No.
Oh.
Beat you in this game.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna pretend to let you win.
Okay.
All right, hit me with some burger puns.
The Chili Wonka burger. It's supposed to be Willy Wonka.
I got it. Bob.
Yes. Ready for your next one?
Yep.
The Serrano Mr.
No more Mr. Nice Guy?
Yes. The Serrano More Mr. Nice Guy burger.
Max.
That's hard to say. Wow. Yes. How'd you know? Because
you love Serranos.
I do love Serranos.
Tell
the folks at home how much I love eating Serranos by themselves.
Okay. This is your most braggy thing about you is you're like, I'll just eat pasta and then chomp on a Serrano, and it irks me because you just spent all this time cooking a pasta dish and you can't even enjoy the pasta because your mouth's probably on fire.
No, it adds to it all. It's delicious.
Okay, next.
The no plant. These are hard to say. The no plantain, no gain burger.
You.
Yes. And your final pun is the IP the fifth burger. Not like urine pee, like the vegetable pea.
Yeah.
Unless Louise got to the board. She might have written the wrong pea up there.
That's true. Bob?
Max.
Damn it, I was going to say that.
And that's it. Another fun round of Bob Pun or Max Pun.
All right, shall we transport back to 13 years old when every weekend was an invitation to a bar mitzvah? Is that what bat mitzvah? Is that what your life was like?
Look, we're going to get into that. Let me tell you.
Oh, can we get into it now?
No, we got to get into
okay.
you telling us the title and synopsis
Okay.
for season 4, episode 13, which I just realized. 13.
13, becoming a woman.
Can we have those, please, Skylar?
The title is Mazel Tina. When Tina isn't invited to Tammy's Bat Mitzvah, she suggests that Bob should be Tammy's 6th caterer so she can at least get close to the Biffos, boys from other schools. On the big day, Louise convinces Tammy's party planner to quit, and Tammy recruits Tina to take over, which is a big mistake. When Tammy gets trapped in her papier-mâché head, obviously, Tina not only stands in as the party planner, but the party girl herself.
This episode came out on March 16th, 2014. It was written by Holly Schlesinger and directed by Brian Lo Schiavo.
Is that a new name, do we think?
Yeah, I don't think we've seen him yet.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun facts for you. Do we want to hit the fun facts or do we want to talk about the episode as a whole?
Let's talk about the episode. You can sprinkle in those fun facts if they fit, or we'll just get to those after we talk about this episode.
Okay.
I love this episode.
I love this episode too.
For the reasons we've been talking about, it brings me back to my childhood.
Yeah.
Like you said, turned 13, around 12, 13. You go into one of these babies every weekend, pretty much, when you're Jewish. And even if you're not Jewish at that age.
It's true.
I had one. You
had a blowout.
I had a blowout. I had that's probably the last birthday I actually celebrated when I think about it.
It's just, you're too old. It got too depressing.
That's you become a man and then it's like, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
Life's over.
Downhill from there.
Exactly.
All right. So let's play a game of how many facts does Skylar remember about your bat mitzvah?
My bar mitzvah?
Bar mitzvah.
Bar for boy. Bat for girl. B'nai, when you have two gendered siblings.
Oh.
And I'm not sure what it is now if there isn't a gender.
That's super interesting. Very interesting. We should look that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yours was either Eagles themed or music theme. Each table had a different band associated with each table.
Just want to be clear that it wasn't like Eagles, like I love the bird, and every table was like a different, like there was the bald eagle, and there was like, you know.
Hawk.
Yeah. And also want to be clear that it was not the Philadelphia Eagles either, and it wasn't like...
It was the band.
The band, the Eagles, which is very embarrassing.
Why?
Oh,
that's so cool.
No. So it was music. It was music themed. So bar mitzvahs typically and bat mitzvahs had like themes at the receptions, and the tables were all named. So you know what table you're going to. And I think the head table, my table, was the Eagles at the time because I love the Eagles. And
Tammy's theme is Tammy.
Yes.
Which is fantastic.
Makes sense. And now I'm a little upset I didn't just go with Max and get a big paper mache head of myself for this thing.
Well, speaking of Tammy...
Or Don Henley or Joe Walsh from the Eagles.
Oh, that'd be cool. I mean, a paper mache head is gonna up any party.
It's true.
So speaking of Tammy's theme...
Tammy's theme sounds like an indie music, like a score, like there's a movie.
Theme.
Yeah, Tammy's theme.
So there's this like montage video of her playing before she takes the stage to introduce herself and her theme. And you should know the answer to this because you heard me doing my research, but do you know what this video was a parody of?
No.
She has a hat on.
Uh-huh.
Has a flower.
No.
You made a comment about it a few hours ago when I was researching.
I have no idea.
It is a parody of Blossom.
Oh, that's why you were listening to Blossom.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually didn't know this sitcom, but I would have loved it. I watched the trailer. Tell me.
I grew up on Blossom. It was...
Tell us
Maya
what it is.
Bialik was the lead. She was essentially on The Big Bang Theory. And her brother was Joey Lawrence, who became like a teen heartthrob. My older sister was in love with him. And his like catchphrase was, "Whoa."
What?
He was like a himbo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is that
was, like, really
noise,
stupid.
though?
That was just his, like, he'd say, whoa, when things got like...
Can you do it again?
Whoa.
Okay. So there'd be like a crazy scene and he'd be like, whoa.
Yeah. Very sitcom-y.
What a catchphrase.
Yeah. That's funny. I did not get that.
Yeah. So she had the hat on, which is pretty iconic. And it's like kind of like coming of age.
The opening credits to Blossom were like, it was kind of, I don't want to say this show, but it is part of sitcom history, The Cosby Show, where it was just the people
just like antics.
The family members dancing like kind of like on a white background.
Yeah. Oh, got it.
And she danced with each member of the family
as
the credits came out. So
but I love it. She's just dancing with herself. She's like, no one else is important in this video.
Yeah.
Just me. So you told me to kind of gently weave in the fun fact. So I'm just trying to do my best.
What I want to say is that Tammy, it's to an extreme that it's like, because Tammy is like obsessed with herself and thinks she's the greatest person. But most bar and bat mitzvahs, it's a celebration of this kid's life. And it is very like
ego-based.
Yeah, it is. Because I know that we showed like a slideshow and you make everyone sit down and you watch this slideshow and it's all about, it was all my life and people in my life.
I don't think there's any, like, I think that's beautiful. I think it's great to reflect. I don't know how much you can reflect at 13. I think it's more exciting to like see yourself up on a screen. But I'm getting like major Bridezilla vibes from Tammy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she's an extreme situation.
Do you think, because you and I just got engaged, we're not going to do a wedding, and the list why we don't actually want a wedding keeps growing and growing. And part of it is just like, it's a lot of money for this like one-time event, and you get like carried away. Like if you get this, then you need this. Do you ever feel like with bar bat mitzvahs that sometimes the focus of this like beautiful like coming of age ceremony becomes more about a party?
Yeah, and showing off and trying to like top others if you can. But the thing is, with a wedding, you're the adults, you're planning it. As a kid, you don't care about any of that stuff. It is all about you, and you don't it's your parents who have to be concerned about all of that stuff. So it's a much better experience. As opposed to Tammy, who seems to be so busy trying to make sure things go her own way that she doesn't seem to be enjoying herself that much.
Not at all. And then she gets locked in the head. She doesn't even get...
With poor Louise.
Poor Louise.
Louise was just trying to prank the bat mitzvah with a little guacamole snot.
So funny. And that is a huge bowl of guacamole. Like, that brings like the inner child out in me. I'm like,
my problem,
let's make a ginormous bowl of guacamole.
I agree. Although if it's a communal bowl, I don't know about that.
Huge, right?
Yeah. It makes me a little nervous. And also my one problem with it is that guacamole doesn't flow the way snot flows. So if you're going to pour guacamole out of a paper, look, just listen to me, folks. If you have plans in the future to pour guacamole out of a large paper mache head of the person's parties you're at. I'm sure we all have that.
Yeah, out of the nose
scheduled.
Hole.
Yeah. It's not going to flow like it did in this cartoon. You might want to try something a little bit more flowy than guacamole. Guacamole is very thick.
Well, it didn't work. That's the thing.
Well, but it flowed enough.
Well, she would need like a spoon, or she'd need to use her hand to get it out.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, it was a little too flowy.
The other problem I have with the guacamole bowl is...
Don't waste guacamole.
Well, definitely don't waste guacamole. Do you know how expensive avocados are now? But that's a huge bowl, and I would rather you replenish it with fresh guacamole. Don't you think that's going to brown? Like, I'm not sure how I feel about guacamole sitting out for like hours.
Yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't like the huge communal bowl of guacamole not sitting on ice even.
Oh, you want it on ice? I don't know that I want
keep it cold.
Okay. Well, let's move on from the guacamole. The other problem that we had with this episode, keep in mind we love this episode, was that who was not in attendance?
This was a big one for me. I turned to Skylar when we were watching it and I went, Jocelyn isn't even here.
Jocelyn was not there.
Jocelyn and Tammy eventually only appear together. It feels like
it's
we still haven't gotten to that point. I guess they're not like a duo yet. And it upsets me that we get Zeke, we get Jimmy Pester Jr., we get some of these other kids, and there's no Jocelyn to be found in this entire episode.
She would have been fantastic in this, but it actually does work because they haven't established their best friendship yet. And I figured out what episode that happens in, and it's coming up.
Okay, good.
So close to the end of season 4, the kind of Bring It On-esque episode, Gene It On, that is when their friendship solidifies. So moving on from then, I think we're going to see them a lot more, and we can bring back my franchise, Did Jocelyn Make You Laugh, in this episode.
Oh, I can't wait. I miss her so much. So the whole family is there, thanks to Tina, who decided that Bob would cater with little sliders, but everyone goes off and does their own thing, and Gene is left alone to, I guess, prep. Gene wants to go off and do his own thing, but somehow Gene gets stuck at the Bob's Burgers table and doesn't know how to prepare the burgers after all this time.
Yeah.
So he's serving raw. Yeah. At least he puts them on the bun and stuff.
I think he got the toothpicks there too.
Yeah. And he gives them to Zeke and tells him to run them under hot water to cook it.
It's like sous vide.
And Zeke's okay with that. He's actually thrilled about it.
So I love this episode. I love that it wasn't just like Tina there and that the whole family got to be there. I loved Linda going booth to booth. As you turned to me yesterday, you were like, that is you.
That would be you, yeah. If we were catering, I would lose you to the other tables, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
And she keeps saying crepe underneath her breath. I think I've definitely experienced that with you.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is like a lovely episode, and clearly Bob's Burgers really liked this episode because this is the episode they chose to submit to the Emmys.
Oh.
And it ended up winning.
Really?
And it was their first win.
Wow.
This episode. I was a little I think this season is really good. I was like a little surprised this is the episode they went with.
Maybe it's because it's the industry. There's a lot of Jewish people in the industry. They figured a lot of...
I'm sure there is so much that goes into picking what episode. So I'm sure that could be part of it.
Yeah.
It was also like a little outlandish with the like head and the like, and I think that is a great part of Bob's, and maybe they wanted to showcase kind of a little bit of their weirder parts.
And it's also good. It's kind of a good standalone episode. I feel like you can watch this one having not watched any other Bob's Burgers and kind of get it and enjoy it and laugh about it.
Totally. We actually, Max's aunt was in town and she like really wanted to listen to the podcast, but she was like, I need to watch an episode so I can understand the podcast. And we chose, because I love the Thanksgiving episodes, we just released an episode and we chose Turkey in a Can. And it's one of my favorite episodes, but sitting there watching it with her, this is like her first experience with Bob's. I was like, I think we chose the wrong one. They're like not in the restaurant.
She was laughing a lot though.
Yeah, but I think what I'm trying to say is when you're trying to show someone something in a standalone sense, like you really do have to be strategic about which you show, like which shows the world in an encapsulated episode.
Which episode of Bob's Credits would you send to people to nominate us?
I have no idea. I really liked our slumber party episode.
Okay, we can send the slumber party one.
Okay.
For your consideration, ladies and gentlemen.
For our Webby.
For our Webby. Please nominate us for the Webby and any other podcast awards.
We don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Any other fun facts before we get into the end credits here?
Okay, so we have 3 new characters on the show. I'm not sure if they come back, but we have Mrs. and Mr. Larson, which are Tammy's parents. And so David Herman, who's the voice of Marshmallow, voices Tammy's dad.
He's also Mr. Frond.
Oh, right. And then her mother is voiced by Julie Klausner. So then we have Aunt Frida, who's really important to the credits, and she is voiced by H. John Benjamin, who we know from Miss LeBon's and Bob and Jimmy Pesto Jr.
And she does sound a lot like it's pretty much the same voice as Miss LeBon's. It feels like to me.
Yeah, totally.
That hi, I'm Aunt Frida.
I've smoked a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a few little fun tidbits. So Tammy's Bat Mitzvah is held at the Sunset Hotels, which is actually the same hotel that hosted Jean's tablescaping competition.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that fun? I loved his tablescaping competition. And then the dialogue between Louise and Janet. Janet is also a new character. Janet is the party planner, and Louise kind of convinces her to go after her dreams and quit. They're talking through these headsets, and apparently a lot of that dialogue was improvised between the two.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah.
I love little facts like that. Do you remember or have any guesses about what the band's name was who played at Tammy's Bat Mitzvah?
I feel like I saw this or they announced it during the episode, but I can't remember.
Klezbians.
Klezbians. Which
is a play on klezmer, a type of Jewish music, and lesbians.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Cool. So those are my fun facts. Should we jump into the credits?
Yes, we absolutely should. So we have, at the very end, the last moment is the entire Belcher clan kind of standing on the side of the dance floor at Tammy's Bat Mitzvah. And let's see what they have to say.
Sorry we left you, Gene.
I'm not. It was easy. You make it seem so difficult. Once you stop using the grill, it's fast.
For my bat mitzvah, I just want a gift certificate.
Louise, you're not getting a bat mitzvah.
I know, because I'm getting a gift certificate.
Mazel tov, Tammy.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there because, first of all, the music playing in the background, if you aren't Jewish, if you haven't been to a bar bat mitzvah, if you haven't been to a Jewish wedding, if you haven't been to any kind of Jewish celebration, that is the Hava Nagila being played in the background, which is one of the first modern Jewish folk songs in the Hebrew language. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Thank you, Max.
You're welcome. We're going to be hearing a lot of it here.
Now, is this song... This isn't the chair dance.
It is.
It is.
Yeah. So you typically just get in a circle and you do the hora, which is a specific type of dance where you dance in a circle, hold hands, sometimes put your arms around shoulders of the people next to you. It's very not COVID friendly, I'd say.
That's the only thing on your mind these days.
Yeah. There should be no bar bat mitzvah horas going on currently or in the near future, probably. But yeah, it's you know this song. It happens at any of these celebrations. Yes, the person celebrating, you're celebrating, whether it's a wedding or a bar bat mitzvah, gets put in a chair as well as their family members typically, and they're lifted overhead.
Okay, cool.
And sometimes people fall off the chairs, and sometimes there's mishaps, and sometimes people hit the ceiling. If you remember from The Office.
No, I don't.
Isn't there an episode of The Office? I think they put Michael on the chair for a reason, and they all lift him, and he goes to the ceiling.
I do remember it. The little foam ceiling.
Yeah.
I feel like Michael was like, put himself in the chair and was like, let's do it. Let's do it.
And then he was upset because one of them lifted him too high.
He's like,
oh. It was. Yeah.
Oh, it's all like in my head. That's great. So what I like about them using this is that it was time for the hora when the episode ended, I believe, because they had ladies' choice dance and then the hora was supposed to follow. So I feel, because we do get this music coming into the credits, so I do feel like it's a continuation a little bit, which I like.
Yes. But if I'm going to be critical as the Jewish person, the hora is usually, in Hava Nagila, is usually played very early on. It's one of the first things, I think, at the reception.
Oh, that's interesting.
You get everyone going. You get everyone out on the dance floor. It's before you eat.
Is that a good icebreaker? Because I feel like if you're like shy 13-year-olds, I'm not sure I would be hora ready. Like
it is a good icebreaker. You kind of have no choice, especially if you're one of those people that's I'm not going to get up. And there's a circle going around. A lot of people like toss their hand out to grab people who are sitting. You're like, oh, here we go.
and then you get out of your shell.
And you're like, oh, this is fun.
Living my best. You're Jimmy Jr. You're like, don't tell me not to dance,
Or you're the complete opposite. You're like, I hate my life. Oh, I can't wait for this to be over. It could go either way.
Have you ever been put up in the chair?
Yeah.
At your bar mitzvah?
Yeah, at my bar mitzvah. Hell yeah. I was looking forward to it.
I feel like you're afraid of heights now. You won't go on like a carousel with me. Or a Ferris wheel.
I do go on carousels with you.
A Ferris wheel.
Yeah, I do go on Ferris wheels with you.
You said that so bravely. You're like, I go on carousels with you.
I get on that little ceramic horse and ride around in a circle. How dare you? As long as I belt myself in, I'm fine.
The seatbelt. What's Tina's horse?
Mr. Goiter.
Mr. Goiter. Max got a Mr. Goiter toy for Biscuit, and it was like it's like the broken neck.
The goiter.
It was anyway.
He destroyed that thing in
he had it for a day.
Yeah, like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
It lasted.
No more Mr. Goiter, which is appropriate to that episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
Serrano, Mr. Goiter.
Huh?
Serrano, Mr. Goiter. Serrano more, Mr. Goiter. I ruined the pun, and I ruined the pun
I was
again.
like, jalapeno, Mr. Goiter?
I was trying to do a callback, and I ruined it.
Okay. Let's go to the credits.
Okay, so, as you said, the Hava Nagila goes into the credits, and what do we see?
All right, we just see classic kitchen scene. We have...
It's been a while since we've been in the classic kitchen, I think. No?
I feel like the magician episode.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have Tina and Louise prepping and Bob cooking, and there's something peeking out in the window, but we're not sure what it is.
From the right side.
From the right side. And we already kind of heard this, but Tina is the one singing.
She's singing the words to the Hava Nagila.
Yes, which is appropriate because she took over Tammy's bat mitzvah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what else happens here. Okay, what happened there? Not much, but...
Not much. From right of the window to the left of the window, we get Aunt Frida in her green dress with her arms up, doing a shoulder shimmy, crossing the window.
She has bubby arms, is what I would call them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Every Jewish look, I'm sorry if this is a stereotype or if this is inappropriate, but it's in this cartoon. So it clearly is something that we see on a lot of bubbies. It's the little like loose, fat under... It's like every Jewish grandmother has these arms. It's so true. That's why it's so funny in this.
I think that it was very highlighted in the episode.
Yeah, like
they
just wiggle while they the grandmas hold their hands up in the air and dance, and there's jiggly arms underneath because they're like in their dress, so their arms are shown, and like it reminds me of my grandma. I'll say that much.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's
a visceral callback.
You remember it.
Yeah.
I think it's really well done.
It is well done. I just like, I work for a bunch of brands that are about women aging and aging in an empowered way. And it's hard for me because women are so self-conscious of their arms, and we get people DMing like, I don't want to wear short sleeves anymore. So it's like, I know I'm going to be this woman one day, and so I'm going to recall this. And what am I saying?
You're going to be a bubby.
I guess. I'm
There's
more
nothing
concerned.
wrong with bubbies.
What age do you think? I had a great conversation with a friend who's in her 50s. She doesn't dance at weddings anymore because she feels like she has crossed the cool line.
Oh,
what age?
That's how I felt
I feel
13.
Like after 13.
Yeah.
I feel like I love dancing at weddings, but I think in the past couple years, I am more on the your mom trying to be cool dancing side of things now.
Yeah, I've never been a good dancer. I'm very awkward and uncomfortable. So I never felt that way, I don't think.
All right.
I remember even at my bar mitzvah, like you have like a DJ or something like that, and sometimes you have like dancers that come with like this.
I love
this party group that you hired, and they pulled me on like to do like certain dance moves. And I'm like, oh god, I look like an idiot. I know it.
Oh, and we're so self-conscious at 13. It's like every single move you can like feel.
Yeah. I'm definitely not self-conscious now.
You're so fun at weddings, though. So
I am.
Oh my god, you're so fun.
Take me to a wedding where I don't know anyone. I'm good to go.
Okay, cool.
And when I don't have to talk to anyone.
I know, that's the best.
Yeah,
it's the best when you're like put at the like we had to invite them table, and like it's totally fine because you just get to stay on the periphery. You don't have to. Anyway, okay, so Bubby Arms.
Bubby Arms. That's what I'm going to call them for the rest of this.
I think that's great.
This episode. I'm sorry if that's offensive to anyone. I'm sorry if my Bubby's listening to this. She's not. She passed away. I'm sorry if other people's Bubbies are listening to this. But
you know what? Those arms would be so lovely. Just be wrapped up in.
There's something comforting about them as well.
Yes.
So some of these lyrics. Just for those of you that don't know, it's Tina singing Hava Nagila, Hava Nagila. I apologize on my pronunciation for any of this stuff. Hava Nagila Vinishmeha, Hava Naraneha, and that's repeated. And then it's Urahim, Urahim, Urahim Belev Sameya, Urahim, Urahim Belev Sameya.
I'm impressed.
And this all translates to let's rejoice and be happy. Let's sing and be happy. Awake, awake, my brothers with a happy heart. Awake, my brothers with a happy heart.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it's not a bad song.
I'm very impressed by Tina at the beginning of this episode. I don't think she even knew what a bat mitzvah was, and now she is just like...
She's mastered the Hava Nagila.
Yeah. All right. Shall we keep watching the credits?
I also want to say that I've always sung the lyrics to the Hava Nagila when I'm like at a...
Uh-huh.
But I don't ever think I've ever like known the actual pronunciation until I looked it up for this. So I was always just kind of like... It really helps to look up the lyrics for this episode. Now,
Yay.
Take me to a bar mitzvah right now.
Now you have to teach me.
No, not right now. After COVID.
No horror during COVID.
Whenever it's safe, I'm going.
Okay. All right.
I didn't want to do an outdoor horror, to be honest.
Okay.
All right.
Noted.
So nothing's really out of the ordinary. The only thing that's been out of the ordinary from our generic credits so far has been Aunt Frida dancing from left to right in the service window.
Yep.
But we just had Bob putting a burger onto the plate that Louise was preparing, her putting it in the window, and Linda coming to the window to grab the plate to deliver it.
Yep. Going
Again,
old school.
We have to assume that she's delivering that burger to someone, so someone's in the restaurant while...
Maybe it's Aunt Frida's in the restaurant.
Oh, they brought Aunt Frida home from... they brought Aunt Frida from the bat mitzvah.
Because Jean was like, I want a bubby.
I want a bubby. Oh, Jean would love bubbies.
Yes.
And they're giving her a burger, and she's just allowed to dance while Tina's singing.
You know, Tammy didn't appreciate Frida.
No.
So the Belchers can appreciate Frida.
Yeah.
Okay, I love this.
And Aunt Frida is making another appearance. I just let that play through because we get one more, as I said, one more appearance of Aunt Frida. Now she's dancing from left to right. So she's dancing around the restaurant, doing her thing. Bubby arms all over the place. And everything else is the same. Is just the normal generic sequence.
Now, I have to sneeze and then I have a thought.
Okay. Oh! I might keep that one in because you hit the mic.
Okay.
You slammed it in the mic. It's a very violent sneeze.
Okay. So, do you think Tina is like high off her, technically, her bat mitzvah, and she's singing and prepping, and Frida's like, oh yeah, get it, Tina, and so she stands up from her booth and starts dancing?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Tina's body isn't moving, so I don't think she really is singing. I think this is overplayed, but
No.
I like that idea.
Don't you think that's exactly how Tina would sing something? Would just be like still? Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, I think she could totally be singing it.
And I think what makes it so good is Tina's a horrible singer and always monotone, a little off key, classic Tina, and it's wonderful.
Yeah, which is, this song is sung by a lot of people off key at bar and bat mitzvahs.
Yeah.
People can't sing it.
Yeah. I mean, same with Happy Birthday.
Worst song ever.
Worst
Get
song
rid of it.
ever.
We can replace Happy Birthday with Hava Nagila if you ask me. I hate Happy
No
Birthday song.
one
Don't get me
likes
started.
it.
No one likes it being sung to them. No one likes singing it. I don't want it to be sung to.
Max
I
doesn't want you even to say happy birthday.
Let me tell you something.
Tell me.
Skylar and I both have mentioned, I think, on the podcast that we both waited tables many years of our lives. I purposely chose a place to apply to be a server originally that did not require its employees to sing the happy birthday song.
That is the most Max thing
That's how
I have
badly I did
ever
not,
heard.
That's how badly I did not want to serve. I did not want to sing the happy birthday song. Nothing made me happier than someone ordering the dessert, the birthday dessert, and me just dropping it off and saying,
Take your
happy
dessert.
birthday, and walking away.
Monotone
letting
happy
them
birthday.
sing if they wanted to sing.
Oh, I don't want to be sung to at a restaurant either.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so the final thing is that we get Gene in his burger costume coming in at the very end from right to left, and those are the end credits.
How do you feel about him?
Gonna be maybe some of my lower scoring end credits in a while.
So when we finished watching yesterday, I turned to you and I said, I have thoughts.
Okay. Well, this is the highlights, lowlights. This is the place for it. Tell me.
I was just like, no. I was completely underwhelmed when we watched yesterday. I like it a little bit more now that we've discussed it. And, I loved hearing about your Bubby memories. I loved that we're now assuming that the family took her home. Like, I like it more, but it's not one of my favorites. What about you?
Yeah, I feel like there may have been some other stuff that could have been pulled from the episode into the end credits that would have been a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something Tammy related. I don't know if it's maybe like the head being lowered in the background in the service window with guacamole slowly oozing out of the nose or something like that. Well, I do like one of my highlights is just the continuation of the song from the last scene into the end credits.
Agreed.
And then Tina singing it. I do like that a lot. And if it was just the music without Tina singing it, it wouldn't be as fun.
Right. And I do like when it is so simple and they pick one thing and it's so satisfying and pays off. That wasn't this for me.
I got you. I'm with you.
Does that make sense? Do you know when they just pick one thing and it's so simple, you're like, yes, they nailed it.
Yeah. It's easy for us to say like, oh.
That's not what we're doing. It's just like we love all the Bob end credits.
We do.
Yeah.
But
we have to rank them.
We've created a podcast where we score them, and some are just not going to be as good as others.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, are you ready to score?
Yes.
We score on a scale of 1 to 10 H's at the end of Tina's Skylar, what are you going to give these end credits?
5.5.
Okay.
What are you going to give them?
I'm going to give them a 5.
Okay.
H's.
All right.
Yeah.
5.25.
One of our lower ones, I'd say.
Yep.
But that's that.
That's that.
Sorry if that's underwhelming for some of you out there. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Please follow us on social media. Bob's Credits all across the board. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Bob's Credits. We've got bonus episodes going up currently.
They're really good.
We're having fun over there.
We're having
doing
fun.
Extra stuff. There's some Bob stuff. There's some Bob's adjacent stuff. And I just recommend it. If you enjoy listening to these episodes and want a little bonus, join us on Patreon for some of the fun stuff going on over there.
Extra podcast episodes.
Yes. Leave us a review. It helps us out. It makes us feel good. We need our egos fed as much as Tammy does.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to say to the folks at home, Skylar, before we get out of here?
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
Stay guacamole.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.